Most people don't need more information about money. They need a different way of thinking about it. I've seen very financially successful people who feel unclear, uncertain, and are second guessing their decisions. And I've also seen people who are calm, clear, and confident regardless of what their numbers say. So, what makes the difference? My name is Ellen Rogin, and I help people stress less, prosper more, and create more prosperity in their lives. All about you creating a better relationship with money and having that show up in beautiful ways in your life. Today, we're talking about what a wealthy mindset actually is, what it's not, and how to cultivate it on a regular basis in a way that not only feels authentic and grounded, but also changes how you relate to money on a daily basis. First of all, a wealthy mindset is not frantic, it is grounded. It comes from a place of calm. Scarcity chases, wealthy mindset responds and reacts in appropriate ways. If you are freaking out about your money, you are unable to make good decisions. Your focus narrows and you're not able to see other options out there for you. A wealthy mindset, coming from a place of calm and peace, is able to see all different opportunities and also solutions when things come up that weren't exactly as you planned. A sense of urgency comes from fear and worry, which some people feel is just, well, of course you would worry about money, but it is not helpful. Money tells me all the time it doesn't want people to worry about it. And this worry is so problematic to you creating what you truly want in your life. When you can come from a place of calm and finding ways to get yourself to that space, you're able to look at many different options that are out there for you and follow your own good intentions and listen to your own intuition when it comes to making financial decisions. A wealthy mindset has a long-term perspective, not just being in reaction, but making decisions from the place, well, how will this affect me 5 years, 10 years from now? Reaction, making short-term, quick decisions can often come from a place of fear or greed, and those usually don't work out for you. Sometimes you can do something on a whim, like perhaps buying a lotto ticket, like I did this week, but it was more for fun. That isn't actually my financial strategy. And once in a while, your intuition may say, I need to act on this, but coming from a place of a long-term viewpoint versus reacting to something that's happening and making a quick decision. That is truly more of a wealthy mindset. A wealthy mindset trusts experience. You can look at a decision that you would make differently now as tuition for your financial education instead of looking at it as part of your identity that you suck with money or you're just not good at this. I remember when I was a financial advisor, my coach Phyllis was coaching me through a situation where a clerical error in our firm ended up being a mistake for a client. It was fairly costly. So of course I knew it was on us to make this better for the client, and I was feeling really bad about it. It was a lot of money that I certainly didn't want to have to pay, but knew that of course I needed to. And what Phyllis said to me is, Ellen, just look at this as tuition. You are going to do things differently going forward. Your team is going to have different strategies in place and systems so that mistake doesn't happen again. And that's what all this is. It's learning so that next time you'll make a different and better decision. I was recently on a call with someone who's in the financial services business, and she had a situation where someone close to her basically stole money. And she was initially so embarrassed. Here she was, someone who understands about money, but she had taken her eye off the situation and had blindly trusted someone else. And now she knows differently. Yes, it was costly and painful, but now she can coach other people to be more involved in their financial lives differently. And for herself, she learned something that is having her create a much more stable future going forward. Yeah, would we like to learn by not having costly mistakes? Of course. And if they happen, a wealthy mindset tells you, okay, now I've learned from this. I can move on and build something even greater. A wealthy mindset is about circulating money. It's not about grasping and hoarding money. I remember when I was working with clients during a recession, and they were so scared and clinging on so tightly to what they had with this energy of, I'm not going to be okay, I'm not going to be okay. Just at the same time that charities and people in their life needed money more than ever. And here's the thing, when you are grasping and hanging on to what you have, you can't possibly receive. A wealthy mindset loosens the grip, spends on things they value, and they also are very generous with what they have. And it doesn't mean you have to be Mackenzie Scott giving away millions of dollars. Like, that is wonderful. But making small donations makes a difference. Helping someone in your community makes a difference. Harvard professor Michael Norton's research found there's something called subjective wealth. And this is where, when you give money away, when you give money to charity, your brain interprets that as, oh, I must be wealthy to be able to do this. And giving $500 away feels as good as getting a $10,000 raise. So a wealthy mindset isn't about the amounts you give away. It's about whether you're clinging desperately to what you have or you have a more relaxed and generous approach to your money. Over the years, I've worked with people with millions and millions of dollars and also people with more modest means. Sometimes people with lots and lots of money are still worried. It doesn't mean because they have a lot of money that they have a wealthy mindset. They might be worried that everything's going to go away or someone's going to try to take something for them. I've also worked with people with more modest means who have been very deliberate about how they spend and very clear on what's important to them. They've traveled the world and enjoy their lives, and they have a wealthy mindset. So it's not about the numbers on the page. It's about how you think about them. Years ago, I worked with a woman going through divorce, and when the divorce was finalized, she bought a beautiful house that was well within her means. And when I went to go see it, the first words out of her mouth were, oh my God, I hope I can keep this. She lived in this beautiful place, yet was unable to fully enjoy it because she was so afraid, so scarcity focused that it would all go away. So how can you cultivate this wealthy mindset on a regular basis? Well, the first step is to focus on what you're grateful for. I know that sounds kind of trite, but it makes a big difference. Money tells me all the time it wants people to be grateful for it. So in addition to things that may already be on your gratitude list, what are you grateful for financially? Perhaps that you have healthy food in your refrigerator, or you have a roof over your head, or you have a paycheck coming in. Or maybe it's that you have people in your life that if something happened, you know you could call and they would help. And what I found over the years is that grateful people tend to reach their goals. They tend to be more financially secure. People who are focusing on what they don't have, that's a scarcity focus. They're focusing on that they haven't taken a good vacation or they don't have a fancy car. But when you're appreciative of what's already around you, that is a key to having a wealthy mindset. Another thing that's important is having a contemplative practice. This is a way to calm down about all those thoughts that are spinning in your head, right? If you're chattering all the time about what you're so afraid of, how can you possibly make good decisions? How can you possibly find your way out of a difficult situation? So that contemplative practice could be like mine, which is meditation. That is the best thing that I've ever done for my business. Whenever I had a big problem in a business, when I would meditate, get calm about it, I was able to find solutions. Another thing you can do is to acknowledge what you're already doing well. People tend to beat themselves up all the time about what they're not good with money. I know there are things that you are good at, and to focus on that. The other day I was giving a workshop and one of the women there said, oh, I hate math, and you have to be a math master to be good with money. I looked at her and I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" And I brought up someone that she would think about, and I was like, "Well, Oprah's probably really good with money. She's accumulated a lot of wealth, but do you think of her as a math master?" I mean, maybe she is, but you don't think spreadsheets the first time you think about Oprah. My guess is she's hired really good people around her. She's very smart and pays attention to what they're doing. There is something that you're doing that is great in terms of your money. So acknowledge that. Build on your strengths instead of beating yourself up about what isn't going well. Another thing you can do is to repeat a money mantra, something to say over and over to yourself to help build that wealthy mindset. Here's one you can try on. I am wealthy. I am okay and I will be okay. Money has my back. Now, if for some reason that just doesn't feel exactly right for you, shift it so it does. Because you want a mantra that feels good, maybe aspirational, but one that you can try on and practice with. Here's what I know: you are a wealthy person. You are okay and you will be okay. Money has your back. If this video is helpful for you, please share it with a friend if you think it might be helpful for them. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm adding new videos all the time to help you build that wealthy mindset to create prosperity without the push.